Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. It's taken me a few days to get back to this, but I'm working on some of the little tassels that I was talking about and saying that I wanted to share a tutorial for. These are so easy and they're really simple. You could put a ring through here if you wanted to. Right now I just have a safety pin, and this could definitely be dolled up with a lot of different things, which we're going to do on the next one. But I'll show you how easy these are to make. I have a pile here of thin lace scraps. I guess that's about 1/2 inch wide, and then pieces of, this is a hem from a table scarf, and I used the fabric, and then I just kept the hem because it's fun to work with things like that. There's a little piece of lace, or that's that clear very gauzy sample that I bought recently, and you can see just some different things. There is a little piece of ribbon with the butterflies. So what I did was to just start picking up random pieces, and we're going to trim these so they won't be so long. This one, okay, yeah, I don't want that one to be my loop, and you will see what I'm talking about. What I do is probably get about 10 pieces, and I try to take a couple that are going to loop over to make the loop to hang this from. So let's take these two, and let me lay these other ones down for a moment. And we want them different lengths. So I'm going to cut this one here, and it's okay if they're messy. So we've got two here that will fold all the way over and still hang down. I might add just a few more like that, but I'm going to put those a little lower down because I don't want this to be so thick at the top that nothing can go through it. And let's see, what else can we add? Let's get a few different pieces. Let's get one of these. And I've been wanting to add a piece of this. We don't want it to be too thick, and you will see why. We're going to end up sewing this. And how about maybe the butterfly ribbon? And let's cut that at a little bit of an angle. Can I do this and not let go? Yeah. And what else do we have in here? Maybe a piece. Do I want those together? Maybe not. Let's just stick with the rest of this. Let's just stick with whites and creams. Let's get a piece of this sort of cream gauzy fabric or muslin. Cut that off. Oops. There we go. What else do we have? I need to add a few more pieces to this pile. I certainly have a lot of things to put into it, and that's getting kind of thick. I might add one more little piece of the gauze or muslin, and then what I'm going to do is just sew right across here, and you can see the loop is up higher than everything else, and I'm okay with these little pieces sticking out up here. So let me go to the sewing machine, and I'm just going to put this right under here, try to keep it all together, and stitch straight across and straight back. You can see I just went back and forth a few times. And see how we can fold that around? We're going to end up doing something pretty cool with this, I think. So I don't want that. It would be neat to let these threads hang down, but I don't want the stitching to show. It's okay with me if these threads hang down. So what I'm going to do is take a piece of, let's see, this trim is pretty and it's flat. Let's make sure it's going to cover up. Yeah, that's going to be fine. And actually, I think I am going to go ahead and cut those strings. If we were using a white or cream color thread, I might leave it, but just so it looks uniform, let's go ahead and cut that off. And then I'm going to go around where the stitching is with just a little strip of glue. Pull that up because I don't want to glue that piece that's standing up. So we're just going to go all the way around. And then I'm going to take this piece and lay it right on the glue. And I'm going to tie it really tight right over where the glue is. I'm afraid to pull this too tight. I don't want to rip it. I've been using pieces of ribbon and fabric that I could pull really tight and not mess them up. And I got a little bit too much glue there, but that's okay. So what we end up with, let's pull this down a tiny bit. You can see how it covers up the stitching. Let me go ahead and cut the rest of these threads. So it covers up the stitching, and you could turn those down if you wanted to, some of those. I just think it's really cute. Let's do this. Let's cut that at an angle, cut that off a little bit. So now we have this loop. And all of these pretty pieces hanging down. So what you could do, you could add buttons. Let's see if I can find. Let's sew a button on this piece of ribbon here. So there's a little ribbon. I'm going to go ahead and, you know, when you go back and forth with the sewing machine, so I know I've shared this before, but I just set it on a stitch for a zigzag, and you put the length of the stitch at 0 so that the needle's not going to move the fabric forward. The needle's just going to go side to side in one spot. And it takes a few seconds to get the needle just right over the buttonholes, but then you can just press the foot pedal and it'll go back and forth and put the button into place. And you can take these threads and tie them on each side of the button, and then when you cut the thread close, it's not going to just unravel because it's tied in a knot on each side. So there's a little button on that piece. You can also get into your container of rusty metal pieces, and like I think it would be pretty on this, just this cotton or muslin strip. Let's just tie this rusty washer right at the end. And it starts giving this some bulk and some interest. You can also, if you have any beads big enough to slip on a piece of fabric this big, you know, you can do that. Let's find one that goes through a little easier. Probably just tie that in a knot so that that will hang down. And I love that. I think it's really pretty. It's really simple, but it just adds a little bit of, you know, extra detail to a journal. And then you can just put it on the safety pin. You can pin it to the spine of a journal if your journals have the fabric covers. And of course, any unraveling is just going to add to the strings and everything. So, you know, that quickly we've got 2, and I think we could make them bigger. The only thing that's going to limit that is how much you can put under your presser foot. But it also occurred to me, you know, that you could sew them out more flat and then roll them, or roll the whole piece when you're done, because you're going to tie it up with the glue, and I think it's going to work out fine. Let's see, maybe I'll make a few more. I feel like this tassel is so easy, and it's just so It's adorable, and it can go along with the journal that you're making. This is the last one I'm going to show you, and I tore some strips of fabric from the fabric that has made the pocket on the inside, so it coordinates. And I don't always like things matchy-matchy, but I do think it's nice to have these pieces here that kind of pick up that color, and it picks up the colors in this too, so I really like that. So I hope you've enjoyed that and get some inspiration. There's just, I think the ideas are endless for things that we can do, and this was an easy thing. It just kind of came to mind, and I hope it helps you out some. I will be back really soon. Bye for now.